Let's try this again. You might want to use the blocks in front of you to rest your forehead on again, as we're going to remain in this stretch for an extended period. Focusing on your breathing. Fill your lungs with fresh air. Empty them out. Refill them again. Getting clean, pure oxygen into your bloodstream to travel to your muscles as you relax into the stretch. And then pick up a block into each of your hands, reaching over your left foot. Place each of the blocks on either side of your foot to rest your hands on, or you can reach for your toes. Allowing gravity to assist you in your efforts, making the side stretch almost effortless. Breathe into it. And picking the blocks up, place them out in front of you, leaning forwards. Before then picking them back up to place on either side of the right foot. And again, you can rest your hands on the blocks or reach for your toes, or some of each. Breathing deeply, allowing gravity to do its work. Letting go of all of your stress. Then come back up to neutral. Setting the blocks aside. Our next pose will be bending our right knee over our left leg, extended out straight. Twisting to the right, gazing to the back of the room. The right hand or fist is on the floor behind you. Arm is propping up your torso. Use your left elbow to leverage on the right knee. And slowly you're going to turn your head and neck to gaze to the front of the room. Slowly returning your gaze to the back of the room, all while leveraging that left elbow on the right. Then coming out of the twist back to neutral, we're simply going to switch sides, bending the left knee over the right leg extended out straight. Left hand or fist is on the floor behind you, gazing over your left shoulder towards the back of the room. Leveraging with your right elbow or arm across the left knee. And then slowly turning your head and neck to gaze out over your right shoulder to the front of the room. And slowly turning your head and neck to return your drishti to the back of the room over your left shoulder again. Continue leveraging that right elbow on that left knee. Then back to neutral. Next, we're going to hold the soles of the feet together again, getting into that butterfly, pressing those knees towards the floor, sitting up tall, and then slowly and carefully bending the head and the neck towards the feet. And then again, imagining that string being pulled from above, from the top of your head, coming back to neutral. Gently turning your head to the right, looking over your right shoulder. Slowly back to neutral. And then carefully to the left. And then again back to neutral. And now we're going to get our legs into cow face and then Lord of the Fish. First, bend the right knee over the left knee that's also bent, stacking them on top of one another for cow face. Holding each of your feet in each of your hands. You can use your thumbs to press into the arches of your feet, giving yourself a nice gentle foot massage if you like, while sitting up tall. And then we're going to turn all the way to the right. Your right arm is back behind you. Your left elbow leverages against that right knee. Looking to the back of the room. Appreciate the power of this twist. And then slowly turn your head to be looking out over your other shoulder. Slowly turning your head and neck to be looking out over your right shoulder again. And then back to neutral. And now you can straighten both of your legs out in front of yourself for staff pose. Reaching your arms out wide to the sides and then arching them in the half moon up to the sky. Interlacing your fingers, binding your hands together, turning them outward and reaching up as tall as you can. And then slowly you're going to bend forward, eventually reaching for your toes, noticing any tightness in your back. And then coming back up to neutral. Now we'll prepare to switch legs for cow face on the other side. Your bent left knee goes over your right bent knee, stacking them on top of each other again. Holding your feet with each of your hands, sitting up tall. You can use your thumbs to massage into the arches of each foot again. Then we're going to twist to the left. Right elbow leveraging against the left knee. Looking out over the left shoulder towards the back of the room. Really feel the power in this stretch. Then slowly rotating your head and neck to turn your gaze to the other side of the room, looking out over your right shoulder. And gaze to be looking out over the left shoulder towards the back of the room once again. And then returning your head and neck back to neutral. Coming out of this twist, we'll return to the staff pose. Again, reaching your arms out wide to the sides, legs out in front, making a half moon arch, touching the hands overhead for steeple grip. Sitting tall, before then leaning forward towards your feet to then hold your toes. Paying attention to any tension in your back, letting go of that stress and tension. And then as you come up to neutral, you can transition into easy pose. Reach your arms out wide to the sides and then up overhead for the half moon arch, touching your hands together for prayer hands, before then getting into cactus arms, preparing for eagle arms. First with the right elbow over the left elbow, hands together, pushing your elbows slightly up, bending the head and neck slightly down. You can remain in this nice stretch, or if you like, you have an option to slowly begin to look up as high as possible, leaning your head back slightly while pushing those eagle arms towards the sky. As you do, your arms will unpretzel, and then you can reach them back out wide, touching your fingertips down to the ground again before arching your arms back into another half moon, touching your hands together overhead and back to cactus, and then eagle arms again with the left elbow over the right elbow this time, pushing the elbows up slightly, bending the neck and head down. Holding that there. Enjoy the stretch across your neck and shoulder blades. And again, it comes with the option of slowly looking up as high as possible, leaning your head slightly back, pushing your elbows and arms up as they unpretzel. You can stretch your arms out wide to the sides, touching the earth before then reaching back out wide and up, bringing them overhead into another half moon arch to steeple grip, sitting tall. And then we're going to do a simple twist to the right as you lower your hands down. Your right hand will be behind you, left hand on your right knee. Lifting your right arm up high, crossing it over the left, reaching your right hand for your left knee, and then your left hand onto the floor behind you, before raising your left arm up high, reaching over your right arm to hold your right knee again. And then here you can hug your knees lightly in this basket shape. Then we have an opportunity to get into boat pose. I like to hold my hands under my legs first for a very strong, intense boat pose. Before then, holding the arms parallel to the ground in the more traditional boat pose. And then I usually like to scissor my legs and feet momentarily with my toes pointed or flexed, slowly raising them up and down to get an additional benefit for core strength. Before then, turning around to lay down on the back, stretching out long. Planting both feet on the floor, knees bent. You might want a block or a pillow in between your knees, possibly another on each side of you. Allow your knees to just fall to the right. Hold the stretch, arms in a T, focusing your gaze out over your left fingertips. Let it go. Slowly rotate your head to look out over your right shoulder. And slowly back again to look out over your left shoulder. And then you can bring your head and neck to neutral, then bring your knees up to neutral. Before you then allow the knees to fall to the left, still with your arms in a T, gazing out over your right fingertips. Slowly turn your head to be looking out over your left shoulder, setting your gaze over the left fingertips. And then slowly turning the head and neck back to be looking out over the right shoulder. And then back to neutral. Knees back up to neutral. Remove any props, hugging in both of your knees, bending your head and your neck towards your knees, engaging your feet, flexing your heels, pointing your toes, rotating your ankles. And then plant both feet firmly on the mat again. Raise your right knee up high into the air, placing it over your left knee. Then allow your legs to fall to your right. Your arms are in a T. Gaze is out over your left fingertips. Enjoy this final stretch. This is my all-time favorite. It's the grand finale of all the twists. Then as you bring your knees to neutral, you can undo them. Hug your knees into your chest, rocking and rolling. Firmly planting both feet back onto the mat again for the other side. Lifting your left knee up high in the air to bend over the right knee and allowing the legs to fall to your left. Arms are in that T with your gaze over your right fingertips. really get into this twist. And then coming out of this, you can release your knees back to neutral, hugging in both of those knees one more time, rocking and rolling. And if you would like to, you have an option here for the happy baby, reaching for your feet or your toes. You can rock the baby, maybe alternating, straightening and slightly bending each knee. Then coming out of that form, you can lay flat and then reach for a block for supported bridge. You're going to plant both of your feet firmly on the mat, lifting your hips into the air. Slide a block under the small of your back on its lowest level and relax into your supported bridge. While still on the block, reach for your strap, or you can do this without the strap. We're going to do legs up the wall. You can get the canvas across the balls of both of your feet. And we will remain in legs up the wall. You can keep your knees straightened or bent. You can pedal your legs out. When you're done with that, you can set your strap to the side, remove the block. If it's in your practice, you have an opportunity here for shoulder stand and the plow. You can take a couple of minutes to do these, or yogi's choice, any stretch you would like, or feel free to get into Savasana early and we can meet you there. Should you be in a shoulder stand, you might want to point your toes tall, flex your feet, rotate your ankles. Any movement you're inclined to do before then transitioning into your plow. And as you come out of the plow, as slow and controlled as you can, roll your vertebrae one at a time down onto the mat to relax into Savasana. Remembering the intentions you set at the beginning of this practice. Thank yourself for taking the time out today to focus on yourself and your well-being. And as you bring your awareness back into the room, back into your body, you can either roll to one side or the other, or if it's comfortable for you, you have an option of pushing yourself straight up from behind, coming up onto your elbows, slightly rocking yourself, straightening out your arms behind you. If you're on your side, slowly push yourself up. Either way, transition into easy pose. And then placing your left hand on your right knee, right hand on the floor behind you, lightly twist to the right, lifting your right arm up high in the air over your left arm, right hand onto the left knee, crossing your arms, and then reaching your left hand behind you to the left for another light twist, and then lifting that left arm high into the air to cross it back over the right arm, back to your right knee, and then we can lightly hug ourselves into this basket shape. And then you're going to make yourself as small as you can into a ball or a seed, hugging in your knees as tight as you can. Before then releasing, stretching your arms out wide to the side into a star shape, and then placing each hand onto each of your knees, touching your pointer finger to your thumb, each hand, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. We're going to chant Om 3 times in a low pitch as we breathe out. Stretching those arms out wide to the sides for half moon arch. Bring your arms up overhead to prayer hands. And then to acknowledge your insight and wisdom, touch your thumbs or your knuckles to your third eye as you lower your prayer hands to hands over heart. And then reaching out the arms once again wide to the sides for one last half moon arch. Prayer hands overhead, slowly lowering those prayer hands to hands over heart before you then bow to close and seal this practice. And so it is. I thank you for practicing with me today. Be well. Have a very blessed rest of your day. Sure to drink your water and nourish your body with high protein and high produce. Thanks again. See you on the next one. Love and light. Yes, I'm glad we could do yoga together again. See you next time. Take care of yourself.